Welcome. The Cum Laude Committee at Millbrook School elects students to the Cum Laude Society in their sixth form year who have achieved an honors record as determined by both grades and rigor of course load. In keeping with Millbrook's motto, non sibi sed cunctus, students elected to Cum Laude at Millbrook must achieve the highest levels of academic success while also enhancing the intellectual experience of their peers. They must exhibit intellectual generosity inside and outside of the classroom. To begin our ceremony tonight, I invite to the podium Dr. Dorr.
Hi, everyone. It's an honor to speak about my advisee, Enel Cabrera, who is so incredibly deserving of this honor. Enel pushes herself and the entire Millbrook community to a level that is unparalleled in any high school student that I've ever met. She's the student who takes 7 classes, including one where she's a TA and one where she's doing an independent study, because she wants to challenge herself and make the most of her time at Millbrook. She does not take 1 minute of her time here for granted. Enel is incredibly driven by the desire to improve the communities that she's a part of, especially with regard to social justice issues. She serves the Millbrook community directly through her work as a DEI leader and a Millbrook ambassador, and indirectly in countless ways. She's the student who goes out of her way to help her peers with academic work, as well as any social struggles they might be having. She's the student who works tirelessly behind the scenes to make the musical run smoothly. She's the teammate who never stops cheering on the softball field. She's the friend who will speak up for a student who isn't comfortable speaking up for themselves. Enel knows how to challenge the Millbrook community and faculty in respectful ways, to make us consider our course topics, how the colonial or racist frameworks that might exist in them, and to help us be thoughtful about what we allow our students to say in classrooms, in our discussions. This extra mental work is extremely exhausting, yet Enel manages to make it look easy, even when she's not feeling well. We know it's not easy, Enel, and we're so grateful for everything you've done to improve this community. Your impact will be felt long after you've left us this May. I also have the distinct privilege of speaking about my advisee, Han-Lin, or Helen Lee. My first experience with Helen perfectly illustrates her intellectually curious, scientific, animal-centric mind. She emailed me over 2 years ago asking for advice on what kind of research she could do on her newborn praying mantises at the zoo. We never did quite get to do research on them. They ended up finding a home with Cam Wooden, who graduated last year. But luckily for me, I've gotten to work closely with Helen in both advanced biology and independent science research this year. It's hard to express how diligent Helen is with her work. Suffices to say that she rarely misses a point. Helen's a student who puts in the extra effort and extra hours, even when she's at the top of the class. What makes Helen special, however, is not just her academic prowess. It's her genuine curiosity about the natural world. She's the student who's quietly collecting insect specimens while marsh mucking while her peers are squealing in disgust. She's the one that's sorting through kinkajou feces because she's so committed to understanding the animal's stress response as they're being introduced to one another. Helen, your presence at Millbrook School has made it a better place. From your leadership at the zoo to your skills on the volleyball and squash teams, culminating in a 5-set win in your last match, to the 20 hours in the hormone analysis lab, to your need for speed riding go-karts on long weekends on the international student trips. This place will not be the same without you. I can't wait to see what cool research you end up doing involving animals in your future, and I'll miss you. Up next, we have Mrs. Turner.
When she first arrived as a freshman, Eleanor was a quiet, reserved student, capable but hesitant to fully engage. She was checking the boxes rather than truly embracing all Millbrook had to offer. Fast forward to today, and Eleanor has blossomed into a confident and engaged student. In class, she's not just participating, she's sparking conversation. As Miss Havard, her AP English teacher, puts it, Eleanor is the resident iconoclast, pushing ideas and fostering thoughtful discussions. She's not afraid to challenge the status quo and encourages those around her to think more critically. But Eleanor's talents extend beyond academics. Whether it's through ceramics, photography, or even biology, she brings creativity, originality, and fun to everything she does. She's the kind of student who writes a children's book about cancer or integrates art into an English project, always pushing herself to create something unique while holding herself and her peers to high standards. Her musical journey tells the same story of growth, from timidly starting guitar lessons as a freshman to now performing solos and singers. Eleanor has stepped into roles she once never imagined. Her growing confidence and willingness to try new things have made her a leader in many spaces on campus. Eleanor, you've shown what it means to take on challenges, step outside your comfort zone, and grow. It's been a pleasure to watch your development over the past few years, and I'm proud of all you've accomplished. Congratulations. I can't wait to see what you do next. Next up, Miss Whitehouse.
When we think about scholarship, outcomes come to mind. Stellar grades, confident participation, and bold academic ambition. But Jennifer embodies something far more profound, a scholarly spirit that captures the very heart of what cum laude represents. Her Chinese name, Yijun, translates to like a beautiful jade, a metaphor as striking as it is fitting for her academic character. In Chinese culture, jade is celebrated not just for its beauty, but for the virtues it symbolizes, and qualities that Jennifer personifies in her studies and interactions every day. Like jade, Jennifer exudes a quiet strength, an inviting radiance that makes her presence magnetic rather than imposing. Her academic achievements are undeniably exceptional, and yet they stem from a desire for not personal acclaim, but a deeper, almost effortless understanding of learning as a service to others. Jennifer doesn't just excel, she inspires, and she makes those around her feel seen, heard, and valued in a way that invites collaboration and connection. Jade, famously unbreakable, yet endlessly adaptable, mirrors Jennifer's approach to intellectual challenges. She is resilient, meticulous, thoughtful. She balances pragmatic planning with a scientist's curiosity and an artist's creativity. And Jennifer's ability to pivot gracefully when the unexpected arises demonstrates not only her adaptability, but her innate poise as a scholar. And what truly sets Jennifer apart is her remarkable humility and goodwill. In a world where academic brilliance can sometimes be daunting, her warmth shines through, and she creates bridges between ideas, disciplines, and people, and welcomes others into her world with a smile, and makes even more complex topics feel approachable. So we celebrate not just Jennifer's intellectual accomplishments, but her luminous character with which she achieves them. She reminds us that true excellence is as much about kindness and balance we bring to our pursuits as it is about the milestones we achieve, qualities she embodies like the precious jade from which she is named. No photos. We'll get better at this. Mrs. Stewart.
I've had the privilege of advising Hannah for the past 3 years, and she has quietly but powerfully built one of the most impressive legacies I've seen. Let me be clear. Hannah has never needed to announce her brilliance. She'd never say it outright, but the rest of us saw it through her insatiable appetite for learning, her consistently excellent work, and her quiet, steady confidence. Something great about Hannah is that she makes my job as an advisor really easy. And in fact, sometimes she might be my advisor. For example, during college application season for Hannah, and when I was preparing to give a presentation at a conference this year, Hannah stopped by to see if I was spending enough time preparing. That moment, kind, thoughtful, understated, is just so her. I joke that Hannah should write her own cum laude speech because she's such a strong writer. She didn't, unfortunately, but I do have some quotes for her that show just how Hannah she is. Last spring, when signing up for courses, we added AP English, AP Stats, AP Calculus AB, Advanced Comparative Economics, and Spanish Literature. I responded by saying, "That's a hefty load. You sure you can handle all those?" And she looked at me and responded, "Yes, obviously." And of course, one semester later, Hannah runs to me on my office and says, "Did you see my grades? Cum laude, here I come." And well, here she is. There are countless examples of Hannah giving back to this community. Chapel council, head tutor, dorm leader, Jewish affinity group leader. But one moment that sticks out with me was during office hours last year. I had a room full of third formers with questions, and during her visit to my office, instead of speaking to me about whatever was going on at that moment, without hesitation, Hannah stopped in to help. She put her own work aside, not for recognition or praise, but just because that's who she is. She's brilliant, grounded, kind, and deeply known and needed in this place. Hannah, you're exactly what the Cum Laude Society is all about, and Millbrook is better because you've been here. Congratulations. Next up, Mr. Smith.
Whenever Jack is recognized for his outstanding academic accomplishments, there is a little snicker in the crowd, including tonight. A moment when some of you seem to ask yourselves, really? To those who snicker, let me hold up what may be an unflattering mirror. Jack works harder than you do. He asks more questions than you do. He rewrites every essay, which you don't. He goes to office hours. He studies for every test and every quiz. He prioritizes his nutritional health and his sleep habits. He plans his study halls way in advance. He gets his homework done early, and as a result, his grades are better than yours. I think I understand the snicker, though. Jack is a little goofy. He asks a lot of questions. He's not afraid to say out loud when he's confused. He's vulnerable. He doesn't project an air of superiority in the classroom, and he doesn't claim to be a genius. And this is why I think Jack Ferrantino is the perfect cum laude inductee. He demonstrates for everyone in this theater, for everyone who's paying attention, how to achieve academic success. Graduating cum laude, literally with honors, doesn't have to mean you were born knowing everything. In fact, it never means that. It means you work hard, you're curious, and you ask questions. You have some integrity and produce your best work every time. You plan ahead and prioritize your time to achieve your goals, just like Jack. Jack, thank you for showing us all exactly how academic success works. You are a model for all of us. Congratulations on this very well-deserved honor. You can read the girls' names, and you can't read the boys' names. Cool. My grandpa had a saying that I got from him, no doubt. One day he had me loading hay till I was plumb wore out. I said, if I load any more, this mule will be zigzagging. He said, don't worry about the mule, you just load the wagon. Pile it on till you can see them old springs a-sagging. I ain't seen a load he couldn't pull, and I ain't bragging. Don't you worry about the mule, you just load the wagon. These lyrics come from a song the Doors played before George's chapel talk, and it's a song I've been thinking about ever since George was a third former. It was pretty clear that this little pipsqueak had an appetite for hard work, and that the hardest part of my job as his advisor would be to keep adding hay to his wagon. And I ain't wore him out yet. When I was in elementary school, we didn't get A's, B's, and C's and so on. We got E for exceeds expectations, S for satisfactory, or N for needs improvement. I've been thinking about this grading system a lot as I reflect on George's time as a scholar at Millbrook School. As you know, he gets pretty good grades. A in studio pottery, A in AP English, A in social literacy of the Spanish-speaking world, A in immigration and migration, A in AP statistics. And BC calculus, George, you know that's not supposed to be your, BC isn't supposed to be your goal for your grade. Okay. But calc aside, George has great grades. This funny thing happens when we apply the elementary school standards to George's academics. Would he earn an E for exceeds expectations? No. I 100% expect, and so does George, that he should get excellent grades, so he hasn't exceeded expectations. So is it S for satisfactory? No. George isn't satisfied. He wants to do better. He wants to know why those A's aren't A pluses. Where did the 5 points go, George? So that leaves us with N, needs improvement. And that feels about right to me. George, you've done really, really great things in the classrooms of Millbrook School. You've raised the level of discourse, brought energy to every discussion and debate you've engaged in. You've supported your peers as a head tutor. You've succeeded in the most challenging courses in our curriculum, almost. But I think, and I know you agree, that the wagon isn't full, and you're not done growing. You're going to continue to hone your intellect in college and beyond. So, needs improvement it is. George, I know that you will keep improving. Congratulations on all you have achieved, and best of luck to you as you continue to load that wagon. We haven't gotten any better at this. Mr. Dorr.
When Chase first arrived in the fall of 2023, I was delighted to meet a mature and engaging young man, a student athlete who embraces and embodies the student part of such a title. And he immediately made it clear that he was going to have a positive impact on our community. His teachers were effusive after his first semester. Ms. Peterson noted that Chase, despite being the only new student in the class, jumped right in. He embraces curiosity, asking questions to further class discussion, and pushes classmates to reconsider their perspectives. Mr. Howe noted other sides of Chase's influence and observed his combination of intellect, organization, and hard work in concert with glowing personal traits, charisma, warmth, and humility. As a senior, Chase continues to impress his teachers with his unmatched level of engagement with the material and, quote, unique ability to bring his peers into the conversation, enriching discussions with a fresh perspective, end quote. In particular, Mr. Kelly reflects on Chase's final project this past fall in his Magic and Witchcraft class. He says, Chase's final project was a creative and fun exploration of our text through music.
he curated a playlist that expertly connected the major themes across all 3 of our texts, using music to deepen our understanding of the material. The project was not only innovative, but also a reflection of his unique ability to think outside the box and engage with the material in a meaningful way. To close, I think Mr. Sorrentino, Chase's immigration and migration teacher during this fall, sums him up best. He has a set standard of conduct and comportment during class that is truly laudable. Congratulations, Chase. You set a great example for your peers, and NYU is lucky to have you. Next up, Mr. Howe.
I'm curious. Good. I'm thrilled to honor Nick here today. If you know Nick, you know him to be a bit of a study in contrasts. He's simultaneously outspoken and soft-spoken. He's fiercely academic, yet he's easygoing. He's an exceptionally conscientious student, yet he's not inclined to do work simply for work's sake. All this is to say that Nick is authentically himself and is a genuine scholar. Throughout the years, Nick's comments drip with descriptors like natural philosopher and deep intellectual. This fall, Mr. Morrissey wrote that Nick's thought-provoking questions and insightful observations elevated the discourse in the classroom. This language has been common in the 3 years that I've known Nick, but I went back to his third form comments before he had the privilege of me as an advisor, just to make sure. And sure enough, his third form English teacher wrote that Nicholas epitomizes everything a teacher wants in a student. That praise offers the students here a lesson. We teachers admire students who are curious and thoughtful, who pose big questions, difficult questions, and who take risks to answer them. Nick has earned impressive grades to be sure, but the mark he's left in his classes has more to do with his deeply inquisitive nature. But the be curious and pose important questions advice can be vague for some of you students, and Nick is very much a pragmatist. So to honor that spirit, I'll offer some more concrete advice from Nick's academic career. In a world of people who wait until the last minute to submit work, myself included, Nick is the rare person organized and productive enough to submit work early to get feedback and then improve his work before it's due. This theme came up in nearly every comment in every teacher's for every year. So to those of you who aspire to sit up here on the stage someday, seeking and incorporating meaningful feedback has been one of Nick's greatest strengths here. Congratulations, Nick. Keep asking questions, keep seeking and offering feedback, and keep working at the things that matter to you. Take this first, after. Next up, Mr. Morrissey.
Nadav arrived at Millbrook School in the fall of 2021 as a diminutive freshman, full of energy and enthusiasm. As dean of students at the time, I had my reservations about this young man, but I've realized that what I had mistaken for an excess of exuberance was actually raw determination and drive. Like his list of achievements, Nadav has grown remarkably since that first year, his physical transformation paralleling his expanding academic and leadership capabilities. Nadav is a student of remarkable capability. On honor roll every semester, he tackled AP Statistics, AP Calculus, Honors English, AP Spanish, and Advanced History and Economics. He became a dorm leader, editor-in-chief of The Silo, showed excellent leadership on the JV hockey program, and plays a mean cello in the school ensemble. Attentive in discussions, he has helped countless classmates with math problems and econ abstracts in the dorm. I have witnessed this selflessness countless times, as he often sets aside his own work to help others. In the summer, he even found time to intern for a congressional campaign, putting his passion for debate into practice. As his advisor, experiencing his energy and determination has been an absolute joy. His passion remains strong, even as he's grown to his full height. I know his determination will never fade, because it's the spark that drives his academic excellence, and it's the essential quality that makes Nadav who he is. Congratulations, Nadav. Next, Ms. Birnbaum.
Short. All right. Before I start, Mr. Fewer, who was Abby's advisor for 3 years, wanted me to remind her that now would be a good time to relax. It is my privilege and honor to speak about Abby and recognize her drive, spirit, and determination in all aspects of her life here at Millbrook. Having met Abby during her admissions process, she came with a solid foundation and has worked tirelessly throughout her 4 years. And most importantly, she has never given up. That is what has earned her a spot in the Cum Laude Society. To be inducted into the Cum Laude Society is to be recognized not just for academic excellence, but for integrity, depth of character, and a lifelong love of learning. Abby embodies all of this and more. Across 4 rigorous years at Millbrook School, she has not only earned consistently stellar grades, but also actively sought challenges in honors and advanced placement courses, taking on additional challenges and always trying to raise the bar while helping those around her. Peer supporter, head writing tutor, dorm leader, Millbrook Kicks Cancer, Abby has done a lot. And she has demonstrated that she is resilient and committed, maybe too committed, to excelling in all that she does. Abby likes predictability, and Abby has been challenged to think outside of the box, take different approaches, and learn from her mistakes. As a result, she has developed a sophisticated ability to take risks with purpose across disciplines. And this year, Abby has demonstrated not just comprehension, but a drive to connect, to question, and to contribute. Her teachers often comment on her leadership, maturity, her willingness to go the extra mile, and above all, her deep engagement with the material. Abby reminds us that excellence is not a destination, but a habit. She has shown us that to be a scholar is to be both rigorous and compassionate, both analytical and imaginative, both curious and courageous. Congratulations, Abby. We are so proud of you. I told Mr. Smith that wouldn't happen. Next up is Mr. Smith.
There's more adrenaline up here than you think there is. It's easy to forget things. I am unfortunately not Harper and Matea's advisor. Mrs. Fuller is. Mrs. Fuller is very sad not to be here today, but it is my honor to read what she has written about Matea and Harper. Matea and Harper, I know I'm a poor substitute for your real advisor, but thank you for letting me share in your celebration tonight. It's an honor to stand here with you both. Harper King. It is my privilege to speak about Harper King, a student whose academic excellence and contributions to the Millbrook community have truly set her apart. Harper is not just an exceptional student. She's a force of intellectual curiosity, independence, and determination. From the very beginning, Harper approached her education with unwavering commitment. Even in her third form year, she was already planning her course load, targeting the most challenging classes Millbrook has to offer. Whether it's AP Calculus BC, in which I understand you're earning an A. No? Not anymore. Close. AP Biology, AP English, or any other course with the words honors or advanced in the title, Harper took them on with focus and diligence, and her grades reflect it. She's mastered the art of preparation, always engaged, consistently asking insightful questions, never afraid to seek extra help, and somehow making it all look effortless. Harper's contributions extend far beyond the classroom. She's a leader in every sense of the word. As a dorm leader, student tutor, proctor, Millbrook ambassador, human development facilitator, and let's not forget sports photographer, Harper has made a meaningful impact on nearly every corner of campus. Whether she's capturing action shots on the field or helping her peers and teachers alike, managing a packed schedule with calm confidence and, of course, a huge smile. One of Harper's standout qualities is her independence. Back in her third form year, she took the initiative to schedule an appointment with Mrs. Vollmer in college counseling, all on her own, of course. She's been planning every step of her academic journey with the same meticulous attention to detail that she applies to everything else. If there's one thing Harper excels at, it's being in control of her future. What really sets Harper apart is not just her sharp intellect and wit, but her deep passion for learning. She doesn't simply pursue success for the sake of it. She thrives on the journey itself, embracing challenges and growth along the way. Her natural curiosity sparks excitement in those around her, and Millbrook has undoubtedly been enriched by her presence. Next year, Harper will be attending the University of Michigan, though I'm sure she already knows exactly who she'll be cheering for when Michigan football takes on Alabama next year. Harper, we are all incredibly proud of you. Congratulations on your induction into the Cum Laude Society. We didn't talk about the hug. Matea, are we going to hug too? We can hug. Okay. It is my absolute privilege to speak about Matea Podgorski, a student whose academic excellence, intellectual curiosity, and remarkable character have set her apart as a truly exceptional member of the Millbrook community. Her academic maturity shows in everything she does, from tackling challenging coursework to asking thoughtful questions and seeking deeper understanding beyond the surface. In the classroom, she listens intently, speaks with purpose, and raises the level of conversation for everyone around her. She's not interested in easy answers. She wants to understand, to grow, and to help others do the same. But Matea's quiet impact stretches far beyond academics. Whether she's organizing chapel council events, volunteering for Midnight Run, or advocating for causes close to her heart, she leads with empathy, purpose, and integrity. As a peer supporter, chapel council leader, tutor, and Millbrook ambassador, she shows up with a positive attitude and inspires others to do the same. She's not one to sit back and observe. Matea takes action, actively shaping the world around her. Her passion for social justice speaks to both her intellect and the strength of her character. She consistently strives to make the world a better place, which is a truly extraordinary quality. And yes, while she's brilliant, she's also bold, independent, and adventurous. This is someone who joined JV girls hockey in her sixth form year with no prior experience, arriving at practice with a grin that said, "How hard can it be?" She learned, she stuck with it, and she laughed her way through. Her courage to try new things inspires her peers to do the same. Matea lives our school motto, non sibi sed cunctis, not for oneself but for all. Next year, she'll bring the same passion and brilliance to Bates College. Matea, I hope you will always stay hungry for knowledge. We're so proud of you. Congratulations on your cum laude induction. Next is Lindsay Peterson.
Haley always has a smile on her face. She is calm. She is cool under pressure. She seems to be effortlessly doing everything, tackling all the work in her difficult course load, serving as a dorm leader and zoo curator, varsity athlete, and more. And yes, all of those things are true. She is someone who chooses to face the world and her challenges with positivity. However, there's a side of Haley that you don't see. And only very rarely have even I, her advisor, been able to glimpse into Haley's psyche to see how she operates. There is one moment in particular that I will never forget. In a softball game last season, An opposing player had just cleated her foot. As Haley hobbled back to the mound, blood streaming from the bruised toe, she pitched us out of the inning before being the first batter up. When I went to talk to her before her at-bat, there was an intensity in her eyes I had never seen before. She was determined to crush the ball. She stared down the player who had stomped on her toe, the right fielder. And maybe it was pure will, determination, or manifestation, but Haley hit a monster triple over that player's head. In that moment, I saw what lies behind Haley's exterior. A fiery drive to do her best that is always coupled with helping those around her. In this moment, it was not just about getting a hit for herself, but contributing to the comeback of the team. In softball, these characteristics lead to wins, and in the classroom, they make Haley a positive contributor to class and lead to strong academic performance. They make her someone who is academically generous, who looks to contribute to the learning of those around her, and someone who is willing to take academic risks. Did you know that she's been going in the marsh all winter to collect data samples for her ISR project? Most importantly, though, in life, this drive to always do her best and help those around her is what makes Haley a person that will find success in whatever she does, and make her someone that will be a positive contributor to any community she is part of. This drive to succeed and be a helpful teammate are what make me want to be more like Haley when I grow up. Congratulations on Cum Laude, Haley.
I knew you'd been going to the marsh. Cool, thanks.
Next up, Ms. Pazdar.
When I think of my first few days at Millbrook, I think of Chow. I was new and wasn't sure what level I would be teaching because I'd only taught college students and adults up to that point. But Chow, a fourth former, randomly assigned to my community service, quickly showed me just how capable high schoolers can be. She asked great questions, picked up painting easily, prepped perfect surfaces for her peers to paint on, and set my expectations for the rest of you extremely high. Chow is serious but silly, kind, smart, and above all else curious. She developed a thoughtful ISR project exploring the way music affects the offspring and reproduction of mice, is a zoo curator, a dance captain, a singer's captain, an honors artist, and a straight A student. While maintaining excellent grades, Chow made time to prioritize her passions. If you've attended any arts night over the last couple of years, you will have seen Chow dancing and singing, featured in like 70 to 80 to 90% of the performances. And each year, since she arrived as a sophomore, she's created and shown outstanding work in the Warner Gallery, winning a Silver Scholastic Award this year for her piece, Bound for Peace. What makes Chow an exceptional student is her ability to ask questions and prioritize experimentation. She draws no hierarchies between science and art. With her academic skill and artist spirit, there's no limit to what she has the capacity to create. Chow, it's been an honor to watch you hone your abilities and to learn with you. I cannot wait to see what you make in this world, and I'm so proud of you. No further. Up next, Ms. Hubbard.
I became Josh's advisor this year. I've shared that wonderful duty with Mr. G during Josh's time here. Ever since Josh and I read Homegoing together in fourth form English class, though, we have been having an ongoing conversation about books. This is an English teacher's dream. Maybe you've been lucky enough to have these deep listening, wide-ranging conversations with Josh. In the servery, on the bricks, I'd ask him what he's reading. Or he'd sidle up to me with a hot take. Beloved, thumbs up. Pride and Prejudice, respect, but it lost momentum. The Stranger, I don't get it. 5 minutes later, our food cold, we'd still be talking about Morrison's nightmare sequences or why Camus should have stuck to writing essays. Josh writes fiction himself. He's taken both of Ms. Kennedy's fiction writing electives, and he keeps reworking his short stories long after they've been turned in for a grade. That's because everything that inspires Josh's passion deserves his persistence. A tough calculus problem, a drawing challenge, Shelley's poem Mont Blanc in my AP English class, the worlds that he and Leo are building for their CESs. Each of these has consumed Josh for days and weeks this year. He returns to them again and again, not for a better grade or a boost for college. And don't get me wrong, Josh's grades are great. But he comes back to these things because they puzzle, intrigue, and light a creative fire in him. So, quiet, composed Josh is often walking around campus on fire. He's also one of the bravest people I know. When I watched Josh dance last fall arts night, I forgot to breathe. Josh did not grow up dancing. There aren't any guys in our program, but he was intrigued, and he fell in love with how dance made him feel. So Josh threw himself into dance. Those of us who experienced his lovely balletic duets and lifts as the escapologist in Matilda, or the solo that he choreographed and danced with utter abandon this fall, we saw Josh's care, passion, and courage on display. And this is the same quiet care, passion, and courage that he has brought to his academic and personal life at Millbrook. Thank you, Josh, for showing us what it looks like to follow your heart. Congratulations on Cum Laude. Next up, Dr. Toussaint.
No problem. Need some glasses. The Cum Laude Society values academic excellence. And make no mistake about it, Sutter is an excellent student. But it also values the importance of integrity, character, and leadership, viewing academic achievement as a stepping stone to lifelong learning and growth, not just a destination. Sutter has shown lots of leadership around the campus in his role as a co-head student curator at the zoo, on the courts, as a prefect. But I want to take us back a little bit in time as a little bit of a history buff. I have a dear British friend who often describes moments of, shall we say, challenging the moment as cheeky. When I first met Sutter as a third former and listened to his beliefs that his teachers were out to get him, didn't like him, and were very unreasonable, I couldn't help but think cheeky and relive the quote from Mark Twain that we all hear at a commencement each year to replace my father with my teacher and 7 years with 4. When I was a boy of 14, my father was so ignorant I could hardly stand to have the old man around. But when I got to be 21, I was astonished at how much the old man had learned in 7 years. Sutter and I now have great conversations about his teachers. Well, back to the point of cum laude. I am a huge believer in growth. And that is exactly what I value in my relationship with Sutter and in what I see in him as a mature young man. I want to quote several of his teachers from last semester. And after the quote, I'm going to give what I think Sutter's actions are saying as advice. Quote, after some early hand-wringing, Sutter dug deeper. Advice, dig deeper. You all have a next gear. Quote, he was particularly nervous about the fill in the blank. Advice, recognize your weaknesses and, next quote, he knew that the course would be a challenging one for him. That and part, so make a plan. And that's what Sutter does. Quote, with his combination of intellectual curiosity, collaborative spirit, and consistent work ethic, Sutter exhibits the qualities of a top student. Advice, curiosity, teamwork, and hard work will always be good ways to make excellent progress. Last quote, he works hard and he has high expectations. He gets frustrated at times, and he pushes through to do his very best. Advice, pushing through sounds a lot like resilience, which is a very valuable trait, and which is why I think Sutter is up here as a cum laude inductee. These are all important strategies for becoming the best we can all be, and I encourage all of us to follow the advice that Sutter has shown us through his actions. Sutter, I am so very proud of you and how you have grown. You have laid the foundation for an excellent life of meaning and consequence. Now go do it. And next up, Ms. McRae.
Third, fourth, and fifth formers. Chances are that you've asked yourself some version of this question. What does my future hold? What am I running towards? Is it a career in medicine? A business degree? The future can feel blurry for a long time, and when things do start to come into focus, it's normal to feel the urge to scale back. Cut down to 5 classes, drop art, drop language, make things simple. This is where Evan stands out. He knows where he's going, and he takes every worthwhile detour. Evan studies anthropology, anatomy, and photography because they're interesting to him. And somewhere in that intersection, he's built a cultural understanding of wellness, a scientific understanding of the body, and a technical understanding of medical imaging, because he stayed open. Let me give you one more detour to admire. Evan had this idea to study mice for his metabolic research in ISR. When he hit a wall, no mice allowed, he pivoted to worms. Worms, so tiny, so uncooperative, so small he had to put them in a centrifuge, and he made it work. A+. So here's Evan's secret. He's not running towards one big fixed goal. He's running toward himself. In that self, Evan isn't just a future nutrition scientist or a biotech business person. He's a human, full of wonder, full of joy in the process. If you allow yourself to go on a journey like Evan's, take every detour, even if it leads to a centrifuge full of worms. Congratulations, Evan. I am so proud of you. Last up, Dr. K.
Howard didn't, excuse me, Howard didn't arrive at Millbrook as a top student. He arrived willing to learn how to become one. His success hasn't come through natural talent, but from steady, deliberate effort. At every turn, he made the choice to improve, especially in the areas that didn't come easily, like writing. Howard became the student who stayed after class, met with his teachers, and returned to rewrite again and again. As one of his teachers said, Howard is relentless in his pursuit of his best. That kind of determination doesn't draw attention, but it makes a difference. In the classroom, Howard is focused, prepared, thoughtful. He listens carefully, speaks when it matters, and very importantly, follows through. He shows up ready to learn and ask questions that reflect real curiosity. His growth hasn't been confined to one subject or one kind of success. In math, he's often the quiet voice at the board, helping others follow the logic. In English and history, he revises and refines his ideas until they are clear. In Spanish, his third language, he works through language not just as a skill, but as a mindset, attentive, persistent, and precise. Howard's success isn't loud, but it's meaningful. He's invested in himself fully in the educational process, and that investment shows. His achievements reflect not just intellect, but real character. That growth came from a mindset, a belief in effort and a willingness to keep trying. And as Howard himself once put it, if you try, success and failure are about 50-50. If you don't try, failure is guaranteed. That quiet conviction, steady, honest, and determined, has brought him here. Congratulations, Howard. Next up, Mr. Downs.
Cum Laude 2025, congratulations.